So this week, we're going to be taking a look at an ink that I kind of overlooked because it didn't come in bottle form. This week, we're looking at Pelikan 4001 Pink. Now, part of the reason we're just now getting around to this ink in particular is I haven't reviewed a lot of cartridges. Most of the inks I tend to want to review already come in bottle form, and I feel like you get a lot more ink for the dollar when you go with bottles over cartridges. Which is kind of a shame, especially when you have an ink like 4001 Pink that actually has a nice pleasing shade to it. And honestly, I think Pelikan would be better off bottling this than Pelikan 4001 Brilliant Red. Yeah, I still have a thing against Brilliant Red, and I think you'll see why here in this review why I like this one better. So, the Pelikan 4001 Pink comes in either short or long international cartridges. The ones you see here are the shorts, and they do come 6 to a pack. In this case, the 6th happens to already be installed in my Carolina Pen Company Charleston with a broad Yovo nib. And I've got to say, I really do like the combination of the red pen with the pink ink. Now, I am going to put a little bit of a disclaimer here. The last pink that I reviewed was Tassia Momo, and that was really my first and only experience with pink. But I really do have to say, I love the shade that we're getting here. In Tassia Momo, one of my complaints was that it came off looking a little too neon. Here, it's not really that much of a neon pink. You've got a nice profile going from the lights to the darks, and when you're going from the mid-darks to the deepest darks, it's actually a really nice shading profile. And I know on this part I'm being a little unfair because I'm using Tomoe River paper, but I would really like to see better dry time out of a broad nib. Here, we're sitting at 40 seconds to be fully dry out of a broad, when we're getting a full dry time from 5 to 10 seconds out of a fine nib. I really think out of a broad nib, if you could get this ink down to 15 to 20 seconds on Tomoe River, it would be a really good dry time. That being said though, they would have to be able to do that without sacrificing the flow that we're getting out of the pen here. I really do like how wet it's coming down on the paper. It's a very wet ink, it's nice, well lubricated, and even in cartridge form, I wasn't having any issues with hard starting. And the other thing that we see in the writing sample here, the shading profile that we were getting up top in the drop, we're also seeing that shading profile out of the broad nib here in the writing sample as well, and that is a really good treat from 4001 Pink. But that being said, let's go ahead and pull out the Rhodia dot pad and see how 4001 Pink holds up to a little bit of water. Okay, well, that counts as a result. Just not a result I would like to see. We've got ghosting at best of what was written on the paper. Other than that, if it was submerged in water for more than 30 seconds to a minute, it's definitely not holding up, and that's going to be a low mark for 4001 Pink. So where does that put us overall? I mean, I still feel it's better than Brilliant Red. I don't like how long it took me to clean that out of my pens. I've already flushed the pink out of the Charleston, and it didn't take nearly as much time, and both inks were in the pen for the exact same amount of time. So that's definitely a win. For a cartridge, it's not a bad ink to price ratio, but I would still prefer to see this one in a bottle, and I think enough people would buy it that it would actually make some sense for Pelikan to do that. Because I mean, if I'm being honest with myself here, this ink has a really nice shading profile, it's got a really good flow to it, it's a well lubricated ink, it's good wet ink, and it is a good color overall. And if other brands are willing to put pink in a bottle, I think Pelikan and Waterman as well should step up and put these inks in bottle form. But that's going to do it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow the channel on Twitter and Instagram, links are down below. And consider supporting the channel over on patreon.com. I'll see you next week.